Welcome to the Author's Corner. My name is Marisa Bludorn. I am your host. I am the editor-in-chief of Own It Magazine and Publishing. I'm so excited to have with me today Heather A. Robinson. She holds a and she is the visionary founder of Anointed to Write, an award-winning firm in publishing, education, consulting, and PR-based firm in Exton, Pennsylvania. My name back in my neighborhood. Back in the U.S., emerging from personal loss as the youngest of 9 siblings, Heather's journey epitomizes determination and self-sufficiency. She holds a bachelor's in African American Studies from Temple University, a master's in child education from Grand Canyon University, and pursued her postgraduate studies at Gwynn Mercy College. She is a 2-time Global Award winner, 3-time Author Awardee, and 2-time Educators Awardee. Heather is a celebrated 3-time self-published author and a dynamic speaker. She has an impressive portfolio. Taking center stage and owning it with me is Heather Robinson. Thank you so much, Heather, for being with me today.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And so your background is in publishing. You've had your own personal journey that led you to this place. I believe a lot of us can kind of resonate with that. Share with us a little bit about who you are, what you're about. We heard a little bit about your bio, but talk to us about what made you launch Anointed to Write.
Well, first of all, I thank you so much for having me on here. That's a very loaded question. So I have to actually take you back to 2010. 2010, the Lord gave me Anointed to Write. I've been writing since I became parentless at 15. I wrote my first poem the night my father passed away. And so writing became a way out for me. But even though I grew a love for it and my teachers were, they were encouraging me, you're doing good. I did scripts in high school, just the fun stuff, I didn't take it seriously. And I had a high school history teacher that actually was like, you probably should consider writing as a career. And I was like, whatever. So I'm going on and on and on through college. My first major was psychology. Second major was communications and theater. Third major was journalism.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know back then. I kept sticking into this journalism writing situation. And then I said, you know what? I just want to get out of college. So the major was liberal arts with a concentration in Pan-Africana studies. So I did that. And that is how I fell into education. So I'm in education. I'm starting to love education. I'm a lifetime learner. I love to learn things. I love to read. I love to write. I love all things literacy. So that is what I kind of curtailed my teaching around for my students. And the way that they were able to grow in their literacy and phonics was amazing. Meanwhile, I'm still going on. 2010 comes. And the Lord gives me Anointed the number 2 Write. Now, I'm from Philadelphia. Anybody that knows in 2010, if you live in Philadelphia, a lot of stuff is considered whack, right? So for me, I was like, who puts a number in their business name? That wasn't for me. My first name is very popular. I went to Temple with a girl who had my exact name at the time, which my maiden name is Brown. So that's a very popular name. So I was like, no, wrong, Heather. That probably was meant for somebody else. But then everywhere I look to my left, I look to my right, I open my eyes, I close my eyes. I go to the door, I see it. I go outside, I see it on cars. I see it on street corners. I see it on street signs. I see it everywhere I go. I just couldn't get past it.
Wow.
So in 2016, which is 6 years later, no, I did not start the business. I hired a publisher to publish my first book. So I traditionally published the first time.
Wow.
It was a great experience. Everything was grand, but he passed away. And when he passed away, the way my contract was written, That's why you got to read your contracts. I had a contract where every 3 years, if you wanted to roll over into another 3 years, you wouldn't respond and it automatically rolled over. If you didn't, you got in contact with them, you put it in writing. It can be very unofficial by email, and everything was null and void. Well, he passed away. So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I have this book and I need to figure out, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to just let it go? Or am I going to find another publishing company? This is the first book, A Season of Press and a Spiritual Awakening.
Wow.
So I was very hands-on with this book. You know, I came up with the concept for the cover. I told the graphic designer I want brick and I want to be pushing against the wall because I want to push against all the negative words that not other people say, but that I think of myself. So I was on a cruise in the Bahamas and my husband told me, push up against that wall and let me take a picture of you. So he took the picture of me. The graphic designer created the wall and actually put my picture on it.
Oh, wow.
So I spoke to the graphic designer. He gave me written consent that I could keep the cover. You got to cross your T's and dot your I's. So that was 2020. In 2021, now remember, the Lord gave me anointing to write in 2010. 11 years later, in 2021, I had a girlfriend look up the domain just to see if it was available because I waited so long. It was still available. So it told me it was a God thing and it was go time. So on my birthday, January 26, 2021, I launched Anointed the number 2, right? And in 2022, I republished not only A Season of Pressing, I also first time published, I don't know if you can see that, Words of Reflection, a 30-day devotional unto the Lord.
Yeah, nice.
And To Wholeness from Brokenness Will You Be Made Whole.
Oh, beautiful.
So self-publishing those 3 books got me into the publishing space. But sorry guys, I had to lean over. I don't publish and put things in my name. I teach people how to get to 100% ownership and show you how to self-publish so that you can distribute your book anyway, anytime, and anyhow, because you have 100% ownership. Wow. That's my publishing journey.
Wow, that is good. That is so good. You need to come into Own It and share your insight with our authors and with our contributing writers, because I speak to that. Whenever they do a project with me, I offer for them to have holding rights of the book so that they can have it come through them directly. They are signature authors, and so that they have full control of their own inventory. They don't have to keep coming back to me. They do, but there are strict. I'm not editing or anything like that, changing the content. But as far as public, being able to control that inventory as part of the anthology, they do have that. And so I would love for you to come in and perhaps just, talk to them directly, because that's a resource. Authors out there. So if you heard what she just said to you 100% control. And when you want to tell your story, you want to be able to have that. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
And why is that so? Why would they want to self-publish and have 100% control?
Because when you self-publish, whatever you sell your book for, you make 100% of the profit. When you publish through a publishing company, they take their cut off the top. When you publish through Amazon, not only do they take their cut off the top, but they also take your contact. Because if I send you to go buy my book on Amazon, you have to put your personal information in before you can order the book. And after you order the book, they now have your contact information and they are soliciting for you to buy more off of their distribution channel. Yes, it's a big distribution channel, but you can have your own distribution as well through your social media, your website, your link tree, however you want to do it. and you will make all of the proceeds. You won't have to pay this person and that person.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really educating them and know and putting the power back in it. And also, can you control your content? Correct.
Yes, you do. Because normally when you go through a publishing company, depending on the company, they want you to write on a certain topic. They want you to write a certain way because they have their brand and you're on their platform, which other people's platform is great. And you should learn how to leverage that. But if you're on other people's platform and they're controlling your voice, it doesn't make sense for you to share your story because it's not authentically yours.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I share that messaging and that perspective um, a lot because a lot of times, they feel like if they don't go with a publishing house, how will they get the visibility? And even when you go with a publishing house, depending on what level you can come to that publishing house at, and you have to come stand to get the kind of services that you think you're going to get.
Right.
Um, Still have to do the work. Even with publishing houses, you're the author. You still have to show up for book signings. You still have to show up for the PR appointed, events. You are still your book, and so you could either do that under a publishing house or have full reign, like I said, be unleashed to speak your truth and create your own events. So a program, I believe it is called Write and Learn. Can you share with our audience about Write and Learn?
So my write and learn is very basic. So a lot of times we have an idea and we leave it in our head. I don't know how to write. I don't know the first thing about writing a book. I don't want to sit in whatever I went through, whatever the excuses are that we give ourselves or that we allow other people to throw at us, which is really the work of the enemy. We're sitting on purpose, but we're not walking in purpose by doing that. So with the write and learn, we go through, it's 2 hours, it's $197. You go through the process of going from the incubator to having a rough draft. This is going through what I call the 5 stages to writing your book, not to publishing your book, to writing your book.
Right.
Now, I do offer editing and formatting and showing you how to self publish, but that's separate. But within that 2 hour span, you go from having your idea in your head to getting it down on paper. And there are some goodies that I give away with that as well. I do have a flyer, and the goodies are at the bottom. One is an actual freebie, which I'm not going to share what that is. You got to sign up to know. And then I am also going to help people do their AuthorOne sheet. A lot of authors don't have those.
Yeah.
But when you're pitching yourself, that AuthorOne sheet comes in handy because people get to see what the book looks like and they get to read a little bit about you as well as your book. So a little bit about that, write and learn.
Oh my God. Yeah, we definitely going to have you come and be one of our guest presenters during one of our meetings because that's so important. And then just, we're working on Speaker One Sheets and on it. And so with our contributing writers, because when you write, you got to speak too. And so you are the your book. You are the PR. You are the spokesperson for what it is that you do, and it's so important for us to get out of our comfort zone and really become everything that we're meant to be. And part of that is stretching yourself. So I love it. Author One Sheet. This is my first time hearing about an Author One Sheet. So that's really, really good. And how do you use your Author One Sheet?
So if you want to pitch yourself, if you're a new author and you want to pitch yourself, maybe to do, they have at Barnes and Noble, for instance, I'm giving this away for free. If you want to pitch yourself to Barnes and Noble to do a book signing, a lot of people don't know they don't charge you up front.
Mm,
So you're able to set up a date and you're able to set up a time slot. And they give you a table and a chair. You can decorate however you want. You can have it set up however you want. And they actually promote it on their social media and in their store leading up to your actual event. So you invite the people out, but they place you in the front. Right when those doors open, you are the first thing their customers see.
Wow.
So if you want to pitch yourself to be able to do something like that, your speaker one sheet comes in handy. If you've never done a speaking event before and you want to start getting on the stages, that speaker one sheet coupled with an intro sheet really helps, because it's very, people look to see how much you put into presenting yourself, because it's a brand. When you become an author, you have a brand now. You have your personal brand, you have your business brand, you are the brand. So you need to present yourself the way you want to be seen, because your reputation precedes itself. And it's so amazing you said speaker sheets, because I also have a speak and learn. Same
Mm.
price, same amount of hours. And this is where those who actually are already speakers that are in the beginning stages where they have stage fright, they need to polish or clean up their public speaking skills. We will go through what that looks like. One of the things that I see a lot with beginner speakers are filler words. That comes across as very, be politically correct, amateur, and it also comes across as unprofessional. And it looks like you did not prepare, when in fact you could just be nervous.
Yes.
So we deal with those filler words and how to supplement them when you get nervous or when you forget where you were. A lot of times you show it. I learned as a kid, because I used to do ballet, if you mess up, keep going, because the audience won't know you messed up unless you tell them.
Correct.
And one of the goodies there is that we do a speaker sheet as well.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it. Because these are the things that they need to know in order to level up. And they're just basic things. They're tools for the craft, right? These are tools and resources for the craft. And so it's really, really good for them to know that. And I love it. I love it. We do have your flyer. I am going to post it. I'm going to post it in the thread of comments so that folks have a chance to look at your offer and get a chance to actually review it and actually link with it as well, so that they have a way to contact you and get in touch with you. What are some, so we have the speak and learn, we have the write and learn. What are some other ways that they can work with you?
I'm actually a PR liaison, and that is a public relations middle person. That's what a liaison is. A liaison will connect you to whoever you need to be connected to, is the middle person to knit that team together. Some of the things that I like to teach is when to say yes, when to say no, and when to say maybe. A yes is a definite yes. That means that this lines up with my brand. It lines up with my mission, it lines up with my vision, and it lines up with my purpose for what I'm walking into. A no means the opposite. I'm going to give this a no. It's very hard, if you allow me to say it that way, to give a no to an opportunity. But if the opportunity doesn't line up with where you're going, it's a wasted opportunity. So to not waste your time or theirs, you have to know when to say no. And then there's that maybe piece. Maybe means it is for you, but it's for someday, not today. I use an equation. My equation is credibility plus visibility equals equitability. What makes you credible? So after we determine what makes you credible, now we have to know, what level are you on for your visibility? Are you in the beginning stages where you have some stuff together, but other things you're still working on? Are you in that middle where you're kind of, I'm ready, but I'm not quite ready? Or are you where you have everything together and you are ready to get out there? So there's levels to it. And that's how we determine where you are with your visibility. And when you couple what makes you credible, how visible you are, and you bring those things together, that's where your equitability starts coming in. That's where people start seeing you and they start seeing your credibility. They start hearing about you. They start reading up on you. I should be able to Google you and see a bunch of information about you. It shouldn't be that difficult. If you Google Heather Robinson or if you Google Anointed to Write, the same thing's going to come up.
Right.
It's very easy to find me. You should be able to Google yourself, and there should be something in there where somebody can say, okay, he or she does this. This is how I can get in contact with them. This is how I can get to them. If that's not there, the equitability piece is null and void. You can't get to equitability until you work up to it. It doesn't just happen overnight. It does for some, but when you're an author, particularly, it takes a lot of work to get to equitability, because it's great to have books and it's great to sell books, but your books are supposed to be used as a resource to draw people to your services. Whether it's you as a speaker, you as an educator, you as a coach, you as a consultant, whatever it is that you're offering, that's just a way to draw people in. And sometimes, more so than not, I give books away for free for people signing up for certain things.
Right, right, right. Yep, yep. You're preaching to the choir because that is so the point. It is really, you speak very loudly about Googling. And I say, you know, and, just, doing the magazine and publishing and, researching our clientele when they're coming in to be featured and things like that. I am looking to see what do I see online about this individual. How are these individuals appearing online? And when they're not, they think they're being safe. And it's like, you know, granted, I understand about security and things like that, but there's a way to be visible. There's a way that you
Mhm.
are visible, and especially they need to see, they need to validate that you are who you say you are. They should be able to look. You can look back and see. Unfortunately, my days at AT&T were prior to the internet. All right, the internet was just coming out as I was leaving AT&T, but you can see the history of me at Princeton University. You can see the history of me and the different things, me speaking different places. You can see the
Mhm.
history because it's captured, the evidence of captured through Google and different things like that. And so you speak volumes when you say that. And some people who are just starting out feel like it's better for them to be not be so visible. But in this world, we're looking for that visibility. We're looking for validation in regards to that. You hit so much. I mean, you really, really did a wealth of insight. And like I said, it's sometimes we have many, many authors that have been published, authors, but really knowing the everything that goes behind it, the infrastructure that's behind publishing. That's what you said, learning.
Mhm.
What is all of that that goes on behind the scenes that actually make you successful in this industry? And so you did an excellent job in explaining that, giving many, many nuggets. So thank you very much for that. Share your closing thoughts.
For me, for the person that feels like I'm just starting out and I shouldn't be that visible, understand that that's what makes people trust you. You want the consumer to trust you enough to say, you know what? I trust her because I've seen her journey over time. This is how she started. If you go down my social media, you'll see how my graphics started and what they look like now, and you'll see the growth. People want to, they want to see that you're human. So you have to humanize yourself. It doesn't matter how big you get. If people feel like they can't reach out and touch you, it's going to be very difficult to build a connection with them. So for me personally, transparency is my brand. And I want people to know that I am human. I've had a journey and I'm still on a journey. I fall every day, but I get back up. And that's the same thing for you. You want people to know that you're human. You want them to see your journey over time. You want them to know you're personable and that you're relatable. Because when they know that you're relatable, you have them. And that's not in a bad way, that's in a good way. So always remember that when you feel like I'm not where I want to be or I'm not where I should be. My name is Heather Robinson. I am your consultant. And if you are interested in my Write and Learn or my Speak and Learn or my PR services, you can actually reach me at anointed the number 2write.com or Linktree anointed the number 2write LLC.
Yes, and it's down here on the ticker tape. So you can just look and see. We'll drop it in the comments for you. Please get and stay connected with her. Listen, she's already shown you her insight and expertise in the area of publishing, self-publishing, and why it's important to self-publish. So we just want to say thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time, Heather, and thank you for sharing with our audience. And so, like I said, stay together if you plan to publish your story, and I would go for it. I've published myself, self-published for over 13 times, so I know that there's beauty in writing and there's healing in writing as well. So thank you so very much, Heather. This has been the Author's Corner. Till next time.